You ever hit a point in life where you think, all right, I've done my time, paid my dues, earned my peace, only to get smacked upside the head with the reality that peace doesn't actually exist, not when there's a homeowners association lurking in the shadows. Yeah, that's the joke right there. I thought I had it all figured out, honestly. 35 years of navigating global logistics, the kind of behind-the-scenes nightmares that would turn most folks into a bag of nerves. And when I finally clocked out for good, I figured the hardest part of my retirement would be, I don't know, sharpening the blades on my lawnmower or choosing which mug to use for coffee. I mean, I used to be the guy who'd get frozen bratwurst airlifted to a stranded film crew in Mongolia, or reroute an entire fleet of cargo ships just to dodge pirates and still make deadline. I once convinced a government minister to let my convoy through a war zone over a satellite phone with half the alphabet missing. So, yeah, I figured I'd earned a little quiet. Bought myself a house in Cedar Grove Estates, signed the paperwork, and I swear, the name made me laugh out loud. Cedar Grove Estates. Like, come on. You can almost smell the brochure ink, right? The real estate agent was all smiles. It's the perfect community, sir. Everyone follows the rules. It's so calm here. I should have known that was a warning, not a promise. Those words, everyone follows the rules. Man, that was the softest, most polite thread I'd ever missed. First week? Fine. Birds chirping. Sprinklers clicking on cue. The distant whir of leaf blowers like the soundtrack to a suburban nature documentary. Felt harmless, peaceful, even. So, I do what any recently retired guy would do. I hung up a little American flag on my mailbox. Not one of those monster flags you see draped across front porches, just a modest little one, the kind you get at the hardware store for $3. Looked sharp, too. And for about 6 hours, it was perfect. Then, that afternoon, I come home from the grocery store, and there it is, taped to my door, a laminated beige notice. Beige. Even the color felt passive-aggressive. The font. Official. Like someone had run dictatorship through Microsoft Word. Violation 9B. Unauthorized patriotic textile display. Flag exceeds permitted. Dimension by 1/4 inch. Color red inconsistent with HOA Patriot Red, swatch 72. You gotta be kidding me. Somebody, an actual adult human, walked onto my property with a ruler and a color chart, measured my flag, and decided it was a national crisis. I'll tell you, I just stood there on the porch, staring at that notice, eyebrow twitching, thinking, is this a prank? Am I on camera right now? It was so absurd, it almost demanded respect. Still, I took the flag down. Not because I agreed, but because, honestly, I didn't have the energy for a $25 a day fine. My first week living there. That's when I met Larry. Or, as I now call him, the Oracle of Cedar Grove. Out pops this head from behind a hedge, like a spy in a bad movie. Gray hair, glasses slipping down. His nose. He whispers, "She got you too, huh?" Larry, bless him, looked like a guy who'd spent more time in combat with squirrels than with people. Turns out, he'd been locked in battle with our HOA chairwoman, Marcia Collins, for years. According to Larry, Marcia ruled the place like her own personal beige kingdom. He told me, dead serious, that she'd fined him for excessive squirrel activity at his bird feeder, then made him submit a 2-page wildlife mitigation plan. No kidding. About how he'd shoo the squirrels away using non-lethal methods. I try to keep a straight face, but Larry looked genuinely traumatized. He leans in and whispers, "Don't poke the bear." I thanked him like he was passing on secret intelligence from the front lines. That's when it really hit me. This wasn't a neighborhood, it was occupied territory. The following week, our HOA newsletter landed in my mailbox. Cedar Grove Chronicle, on heavy beige cardstock, floral header, and a faint whiff of something like Marcia's perfume. Every paragraph read like a royal decree, rules about trash bin placement, recycling lids, even a list of approved doorbell chimes. 33 allowed sounds, apparently. The rest? Auditory pollution. But the real kicker was buried halfway down the page, a community update about the water tower north of the development. Many of you have noticed the unsightly water tower. It serves no aesthetic purpose and detracts from our property values. I have filed a petition for its immediate removal. I look out my window and see the blue top of that water tower poking up above the maples. To Marcia, it was ugly. To me, it was the backbone of the whole system. Years of logistics had taught me to respect the stuff that actually works when everything else falls apart. I dusted off my old tablet. Things survived a monsoon in Mumbai, found the county plans, and there it was, 50,000-gallon gravity-fed reservoir. Emergency fire suppression. Translation: if the grid went down, that tower was the last thing keeping our expensive houses from going up in flames. Marcia wasn't just annoying, she was a hazard. So, I called City Hall. Yes, this is George Harris, 118, Oakwood Drive. I'd like to register my strong support for keeping the fire department's auxiliary water tower. The clerk shuffled some papers and says, "You're the first call in favor. We've had 70-something complaints for removal, all from a Ms. Marcia Collins." I just smiled. Please put my voice of reason down for 74 votes. Then, hung up, feeling pretty good. But with people like Marcia, it's never that simple. It was a Saturday, sticky and hot, the kind of day where the air sits on you like a wet blanket. I was out back wrestling with patio furniture that probably came with instructions translated from Norwegian by a blindfolded raccoon. Suddenly, I grabbed the garden hose to rinse the patio. Turn it on, and nothing. Just a sad little hiss, then dead silence. Great, brownouts, I mutter, thinking the water pumps had kicked off again. But then I hear something, a heavy, wet roaring sound. Not right. I walk to the edge of my yard, look out past the trees, and my heart just plummets. From the base of that blue water tower, there's a geyser, water shooting straight into the air. Thousands of gallons a minute, flooding down the hillside. This wasn't a leak. Someone had cranked the main drain valve wide open. And there, through the heat shimmer, I see her, Marcia Collins. In her signature white gloves, carrying the big red valve handle like she'd just returned from war. She spots me, gives this tight little smile only true fanatics can muster, and vanishes back into her garage. Did I call 911? Nope. First rule of any disaster: contain, then report. Instincts kicked in. I pull out my phone, scroll down to a contact I haven't dialed since retirement. Armageddon Andy, my old logistics fixer in Jersey. Guy could find a cargo jet in a blizzard. I call him. "Frankie," he yells, "tell me you're not back in the game." "Andy," I say, "I need every tanker you got. 50,000-gallon fire reservoir is being drained. Deliberate sabotage." There's a pause. "Say what?" I repeat myself, dead serious. "I need rapid response tankers, priority 1. Typing, shuffling. Closest is 4 DOT trucks in Westbrook County, 12,000 gallons each. Take all 4. I say. "You're not exaggerating?" "Andy," I say, "I joined a homeowners association. It's worse than pirates." He gives a long whistle. "Copy that, Frankie." By the time I hang up, I'm steady. I finally call 911. "Good afternoon. This is George Harris, 118 Oakwood Drive. I need to report the complete draining of the municipal fire tower north of Cedar Grove Estates. Estimated total loss in 20 minutes. You'll need traffic control on my street." The dispatcher probably thought I was nuts. 40 minutes later, here they come. The hiss of air brakes, deep diesel rumble. 4 gleaming tankers pull into the cul-de-sac, each looking like a chrome battleship. Petronelli and Sons. The drivers hop out in full reflective gear, moving with the confidence of men who actually get things done. And, as if on cue, the front doors fly open all along the street. Curtains twitch. Larry peeks out from behind his hedge, jaw slack, like he's seeing an alien landing. Then, here comes Marcia, storming out in her visor and clutching her clipboard. Like a riot shield. "Harris, what is the meaning of this? You are in violation of at least 9 bylaws." I ignore her, directing the drivers. 10 feet between trucks. We need space for the manifold. "A manifold?" she shrieks. "You can't install unapproved plumbing structures visible from the street." I just look at her, dead calm. "Marcia, the fire tower's empty. I'm setting up a temporary reserve." She sniffs. "That eyesore is gone. You should be thanking me. Property values will soar until your house burns down." I mutter. She waves her clipboard like a sword, tries to stick a violation notice on the grill of the lead truck. It slides right off. The driver, Gus, built like a barn, leans in. "Ma'am, don't touch my rig." She backs off. That's when the police show up. Sergeant Davis, looking 2 years from retirement, and his rookie sidekick. George, the sergeant groans. Tell me this isn't you again. Afraid so, Sarge. Tower's dry. This is the fix. He looks at the truck's size. This looks like a Metallica tour. Then, a fire chief SUV comes screeching up. Chief Evans jumps out, face pale. It's gone. 50,000 gallons. We thought it was a glitch. I point at Marcia, who's now red-faced but defiant. She did it. Marcia snaps. I merely improved the skyline. Evans turns slowly, voice rising. That blight, ma'am, was your only backup water. Supply during a power failure. I show him a photo, bright yellow sign. Emergency drain. Authorized personnel only. The chief just shakes his head, somewhere between disbelief and awe. The rookie cop whispers, "This neighborhood's insane." While everyone's arguing, my crew sets up, steel manifold across the lawn, thick blue hoses, tankers idling low. Looks like NASA prepping a launch. Gus grins. 5,000 gallons a minute, boss. Perfect, I tell him. Hold till the chief gives orders. Marcia's retreated, pacing behind her bay window. I know what's coming. Bureaucrats always call backup. 20 minutes later, county environmental rolls up. Guy looks like he hasn't slept since the Bush administration. Marcia yells, he's got toxic waste. Groundwater contamination. I hand over a binder. Manifests, test reports, the whole nine. Gus draws a bottle of water straight from the tank, hands it to the inspector. Inspector shrugs, hands it back. Yeah, we're good here. Drives off. Marcia's deflated. Then, like clockwork, a local news van screeches around the corner. Reporter jumps out, perfect hair. Sir, what happened here? I straighten up, cool as can be. Critical failure in emergency water system. I restored operational safety until city response arrived. She blinks. You did all this yourself? I shrug. In a crisis, you act. You don't wait for a committee. Of course, Marcia bursts into the shot, shrieking about bylaws and my lawn height. The camera pans to Chief Evans inspecting my handiwork. Nodding approval. The crowd's already chosen a side. And then, no joke, someone shouts, fire. 2 houses down, the deck's on fire, a grill explosion. Black smoke pouring into the sky. Chief Evans barks, hydrants dry, use the tankers. Gus spins a valve, water thunders out, and 60 seconds later, the fire's out, steam hissing. The crowd erupts in cheers, neighbors clapping. Firefighters shaking hands. I just stand there, feeling that old familiar rush. Problem, solution, order out of chaos. That night, the community clubhouse is packed to the rafters. Chief Evans in front, police at the door, Marcia looking like a ghost behind her clipboard. Jerry, the shaky board secretary, bangs a gavel. We're here to address the actions of Chairwoman Collins. Marcia tries to defend herself. I was protecting our neighborhood's appearance. Larry stands up, voice shaking. My kids were home when that fire started. Frank's trucks saved us. You put us in danger. Another neighbor plays a doorbell cam video. Marcia, clear as day, opening the valve. The silence is so heavy, you could drown in it. The board votes, unanimous. Marcia, Collins, you are removed from office, effective immediately. Sergeant Davis steps up, dead calm. Marcia Collins, you're under arrest for reckless endangerment and destruction of municipal property. The cuffs click. The whole room bursts into applause that rolls through like a tidal wave. And when the dust settles, all eyes turn to me. Jerry wrings his hands. George, we need new leadership. Someone competent. I sigh. I retired to avoid responsibility. Larry grins. Think of the squirrels. Laughter breaks out. I give in. Fine, but we're rewriting the bylaws. 1 index card. Rule 1, don't be a jerk. Rule 2, don't let your yard turn into a jungle. You'd think I'd just liberated France. A month later, Cedar Grove feels alive. Kids on bikes, houses with color. Larry's mailbox, painted hot pink, standing out like a victory banner. My lawn's 3 inches high, gloriously non-compliant. I'm lounging on my finally assembled patio furniture, glass of iced tea. Sweating in my hand, when Gus rolls up in his pickup. Morning, Mr. President. He jokes, handing me 2 envelopes. City sent this, Civic Preparedness Grant, officially adopting the Harris Protocol. For emergencies. The other's a bottle of bourbon, signed by the tanker crew. to the man who turned suburbia into a command post. Later, I check my pink mailbox, find a letter, no return address. But I know that handwriting. 10 pages of Marcia's rants about emotional distress, tinnitus from truck noise, threats of lawsuits. I set it next to the city's check. One's an asset, one's a liability. Simple math. I crumple her letter, toss it in my open top, gloriously non-compliant fire pit. Watch it curl and blacken. Some problems don't need logistics, just heat and gravity. And as the last scrap of paper turns to ash, I kick back, listening to cicadas, the murmur of normal life, and realize peace and quiet aren't things you find, they're things you fight for. And for now, my little corner of Cedar Grove is finally, stubbornly, peacefully mine. So, what do you think? Was I right to fight back, or was I just another cranky neighbor stirring the pot? Let me know down below, and if you've ever had to stand your ground for what's right, or just survived a wild HOA, drop your story. Hit that like, hit subscribe, and let's keep this conversation rolling, because, trust me, peace is worth it, even if you have to fight a little dirty to keep it.